All right, my friends. So I'm going to go ahead and deliver your session for today. This is session 3. We're going to talk about determining central ideas today. It's going to be really important that you guys follow along very carefully with me today. Without me being in front of you, jumping around and stuff like that, it is going to be a little difficult, probably to pay attention. And I want to just make sure that this isn't a waste of anybody's time. So please make sure that you are very in tune with what we are doing and following along. If I jot something in the notes, you should also jot something in the notes. We'll also be doing a little activity together. So I keep trying to figure out what color I want to write with, because I want it to be different than what's happening. Ooh, yeah, let's do this. I like that green. All right, guys, so session 3 is about determining central idea. The teaching point right here says nonfiction readers work hard to determine a text's central ideas. One way they do this is to notice important details in the text and then look across those details and think, how do these details fit together? So that's the major question we're going to be talking about today, is how the details in our texts fit together. That's how you guys end up figuring out a central idea. So that's what we'll be working on. Again, with our little anchor charts here, every day we keep adding. You'll notice we add one of these little guys here each day that we do a lesson. We're on session 3, and we have 3 little notes there. The first one, obviously, was orient yourself with the text, generate those questions and ideas. Then we did fascinating parts and mulling them over, and today we are talking about this one over here with central idea, okay? It says right here, today's work will start by learning about this concept as a whole group, and then you're going to have time to apply it to your actual book club. So when you go in today and you are working with your books and jotting your notes, I do want you to actually be thinking about what is a central idea. And remember, a central idea is more than a word. More than a word, okay? You wouldn't necessarily say that bombs are the central idea of the book bomb, okay? It would be more about what goes into creating a bomb, or the actual historical action that happened that created the bomb back when World War II was going on. So you'd have to actually do more than just a word. Just remember that. All right, so like we said, central idea are the big points. It asks this question here: how do you determine a central idea for a text, and what clues does the author give, and what should you look for in a book? I was just brainstorming some of these things myself, and I know that a lot of these things we could see from what we did when we were doing when we were orienting ourselves with the text. So we could always look at the book cover. I think the book cover is probably going to give us some clues. The book title also usually gives us some clues. Your book cover may have other things on there, like the title, a picture. It might also have like a byline, something that goes along with the title that explains it a little bit more. You also might be able to look at the back of the book, depending on the type of book. That can give you a lot of information. And then really, once you get into the book and you start reading through the actual material, what you're going to be looking for, guys, are repeated ideas. Okay, so you're going to see things that keep popping up over and over again. If something is popping up over and over again, it is probably one of the author's central ideas. That's a fair analysis of that, if you keep seeing it pop up and pop up and pop up, okay? So make sure that you think about the book cover can give you some good ideas. The book title can give you some good ideas. The back of the book can... let's put a little of in there. The back of the book can be it, and also those repeated ideas within the book. If you've got any other ideas, we could pause the video right now and have somebody raise their hand and toss out some more ideas of where you can find the central idea, and we could add those to our list as well. So if there is a need to pause the video, now is a good time. But if nobody else has their hands raised, then we can go ahead and keep on going. All right, guys? So now's a little activity that I want to do with you really quickly to help you think about this idea of central ideas, okay? I'm going to pull up a couple of different a couple of different sets of pictures. We're going to call this stations. Typically, I would have you going around the room from place to place with a group of people, but with me not being there today, that made it a little difficult to explain. So I'm just going to do it this way, all right? So let's go ahead and look at station number 1. All right, so these are the pictures for station number 1. You see you've got one with the elephant here who is with a baby, a giraffe with a baby, and then you've got an orangutan over here with a baby. So I don't think that a central idea here is just going to be babies, because that's a one word. But think through a couple of things that you're seeing happening in this picture. I know that I'm seeing, it looks like there is just a parent and a child in each picture. There's nobody else around them, so it seems like that is they're focusing on that particular relationship there. It also looks like a pretty serene picture, so there's not a whole bunch of like violence or anything like that going on. And it also looks like every single one of these, the mother, I'm assuming it's the mother, is like nurturing that child, taking care of them, right? So going back on over to our notes, when I look over here for station number 1, that's where we saw the babies and their mothers. I would say that maybe we could say a central idea is how mothers care for their young, or even the special bond parents and children have. And you notice that I didn't just say animals here. Even though it was animals in this one, we know it was animals in the pictures, they may be making some comments about just that bond of parenthood too. So just judging from the picture and looking at all of the different details of it, those are some things you could take away. Write down anything that you're thinking of that talks about all of those pictures. Because remember, when you're talking about a central idea, you can't narrow in. So I can't look at this, I can't look at this and just be like, they're in the grasslands. It must be about animals in the grasslands. Well, no, because Mr. Orangutan down here doesn't look like they have any grasslands around them. So you got to make sure that when you're going in for that central idea, it's something that does apply to everything that you're seeing, either in the text or in this case, in the pictures. Let's go to station number 2. All right, so we got station number 2 here. Looks like we've got lots of different sports. We've got swimming over here. We got soccer. We've got volleyball, basketball, and football. All right. So sports, definitely. I'm trying to see what these things have in common, because at first I was going to say that all of them have a ball in common, but that's not true because swimming doesn't. Then I was going to say they're all team sports, but then swimming, well, I guess swimming is a team sport too, because it's a collaborative with getting the points and everything. So it is a team sport, but you have an individual aspect to it as well, I guess, like every other sport. I look down here at this football one, and it's just a single man running, but I also know that there's a team that enabled him to be able to do that. So as I look at this one, I'm thinking more about like teamwork and working hard towards a goal and competition and things like that. Again, only saying one word, so when we bounce back over to our notes here, we got to make sure that we're wrapping in more than just one word. So let's see. We could say something about team sports are active. We could do that. They all looked pretty active. You could also, there could also be something about how hard work and competition found in sports participation. Okay. So again, trying to figure out how all of those pictures go together. Let's do a couple more. Bounce over here to station 3. On this one here, we've got an Xbox. Xbox here. We got a PS5 over here, and we got a Nintendo Switch over here. So all different consoles, right? But they're all gaming. They're all different versions of gaming. So we definitely don't want to just say like consoles for gaming, but we might want to say this could have something to do with why does it keep doing that? The equipment gamers use, or maybe even the variety of options gamers have. See, expanding that beyond a single word. Let's look at that last one, guys. Okay, our last one, we go down here and we've got, oh my, lots of liquid, right? We got milk up here, Gatorade, juice, water, core, power. I bet you get strong. And Powerade down here. So again, we've got lots of different liquids. They're all things that can be beverages. They're all in plastic bottles. They're all labeled and sold with advertisements on them and, you know, name brands and stuff like that. So there's a lot of different things going on here. Maybe I just want to write something like options for hydration. Or we could even say like plastic bottles of beverages and how they're sold. Obviously, if this was a text, we'd have a lot more to go on than just these pictures here, because we don't know exactly what they're doing. They could be talking about recycling for all we know, or they could just be talking about something to drink. So in a text, we would know more, but we can take some guesses right now that move beyond just that initial, like, dranks. You can't just say dranks for that one. All right, guys? So again, trying to figure out how those fit together. Let's try to practice it with a piece of text now. I'm going to go ahead and read this through, and then I'm going to kind of go back through it just to highlight some things that that I think are important. You can go ahead and highlight as I'm reading, okay? And then check yourself with what I highlight afterwards. So I'll start first with reading. It says, selling more soda to kids has become one of the easiest ways to meet sales projections. Influencing elementary school students is very important to soft drink marketers, an article in the January 1999 issue of Beverage Industry explained. Because children are still establishing their tastes and habits, 8-year-olds are considered ideal customers. They have about 65 years of purchasing in front of them. Entering the schools makes perfect sense, the trade journal concluded. The fast food chains also benefit enormously when children drink more soda. The chicken nuggets, hamburgers, and other main courses sold at fast food restaurants usually have the lowest profit margins. Soda has by far the highest. We at McDonald's are thankful, a top executive once told the New York Times, that people like drinks with their sandwiches. Today, McDonald's sells more Coca-Cola than anyone else in the world. The fast food chains purchase Coca-Cola syrup for about $4.25 a gallon. A medium Coke that sells for $1.29 contains roughly 9 cents worth of syrup. Buying a large Coke for $1.49 instead, as the cute girl behind the counter always suggests, will add another 3 cents worth of syrup and another 17 cents in pure profit for McDonald's. So I'm going to look back through here, a couple of things. It looks like this whole idea here of children are still establishing their tastes and habits. 8-year-olds are ideal customers. 65 years of purchasing in front of them. And then schools, obviously, because that's what it's about. They said down here that the food, so like chicken nuggets, hamburgers, and other main courses have the lowest profit margins. Sodas are the highest, okay? And then they go on to actually explain like the math of it, and that's crazy to me, that you can get $4.25 is a gallon of syrup, and then they say down here it's $1.29, has 9 cents of syrup in it. So they're making, literally they are making $1.20 profit on a medium soda there. And then they go on to say how much, they add when it makes it large. So, oops, sorry about that, guys. So looking at that, how do these details fit together? They're talking about children. They're talking about soda. They're talking about lifetime of buying. They're talking about higher profits on soda than food. Okay? So putting all of that together and really mulling it over again, guys, okay? So I'm mulling, and I'm going to look at it from every angle. I'm looking at it from this idea that they're actually targeting children, okay? They said 8-year-olds are considered ideal customers because they still will be buying things for 65 years in front of them. And if you can get them hooked right now to soda, guess what they're going to buy? That's basically what they're telling you. If I can make an 8-year-old love soda now, then that guarantees they will be buying soda from me for this much longer. So they're really looking at almost like manipulating the situation and taking advantage of those younger customers, especially when you look down and you start to see where their profit margins are coming in. So I would say that a possible central idea for this text would just be that soda companies want kids hooked on soda earlier so they can make the most money off them. That's kind of screwed up, isn't it? It's like they're like, get the little kids so that we can have them paying us for forever. It's very manipulative when you think about it. So I'm going to leave that up there for a second, guys, and go ahead and let you, if we need to pause the video right now to make sure that everybody gets everything recorded off of this page, that would be awesome. You should have highlighted up at the top, as well as getting some details and then figuring out that central idea for the text. So make sure you get all of this. Again, if you need to pause the video right now, this is a good time. All right, I'm going to keep going now. So today in workshop, guys, this is what you're going to be working on. You're going to check your calendars again, and you're going to do work. You're going to mark pages as you go. You're going to jot notes. You're going to be prepared to have a quality conversation. I put a couple of reminders down here at the bottom. I want you guys to make sure you are putting questions and facts and ideas into your notes. You're always capturing those page numbers. You are mulling things over. You're not just jotting simple things down. You're also trying to get some more deeper thinking into that. And I do want you to go ahead and start to try to identify central ideas of your text, okay? So go ahead and get back into your workstations, work independently, work really hard. Remember, guys, this is not easy work, and you're going to have to focus on it. And I want you guys to use your time super wisely so that you can stay up with your reading and make sure that your notes are being taken. Soon, I'm going to start pulling kids out. I'm hoping to do this actually this week sometime, where I can pull you guys over during work time so that I can start taking a look at your notes and see how you're doing on those. Because if you aren't really hitting the mark on what I'm looking for, I want to make sure I tell you that now so that we can work harder to show growth on that, okay? All right, guys, go get them. You guys will be doing read aloud after you do a little bit of work time, so show some really great work, and then you'll get to be rewarded with some read aloud, okay? Love you guys. Mwah.